watching NewsX and we have some breaking news coming in. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has misbehaved with an ITV network reporter. He was questioned during the Raebareli rally today, but Rahul Gandhi deflected the question instead and started asking our reporter about the ITV network owner. The ITV network reporter was pushed out of the rally and the workers also tried to snatch his mic. We quickly watch what has happened at this rally.
आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? जी? आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? सर, मेरे मालिक का नाम वही है जो आपने क्या नाम है? आपके मालिक का आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? जी? आपके मालिक का क्या नाम है? सर, मेरे मालिक का नाम वही है जो आपने क्या नाम है? आपके मालिक का
Rishabh Gulati with us on the broadcast. Rishabh, if you can help explain to our viewers what exactly went down in Raebareli.
The question, Devika, is that political rally is taking place. And a political rally, we've been doing this for a long period of time, often involves a lot of people, often can be chaotic, there's a large crowd. But what has just taken place at this political rally? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is that there is a reporter, a colleague of ours, who belongs to a large network, employ hundreds of journalists across the country, who has gone to cover the rally. He is recording the rally as it is taking place. At that point of time, when he's trying to ask a question to a political leader, whoever the political leader may be, let alone somebody who is not only been in politics for a long period of time, but has a family history in politics, has seen politics, what is happening at that point of time? A CV is being demanded of the reporter based on caste. And after that, he's being beaten up. Now it is a reality check for a lot of people in this country who are also professionals, who are also trying to do their jobs and are not doing their jobs simply on the basis of background and caste certificate. So something that has happened is more than unfortunate. This is not what you expect to be happening at political rallies anywhere in the country, anybody's rally, let alone a seasoned politician. Literally a person who's been head of a major political party in the country. Now, it's a matter of point on record that the reporter of ITV network there covering this rally, his name, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this broadcast, is Shivpal Yadav. He is a default, a person from an OBC community who's just been beaten up. Now the party leader who's conducting the rally, after taunting the reporter, when he sees his cadre surrounding his cavalcade in front of his eyes, assaulting this reporter, then he's saying, "Mat maro." Now, I don't understand. For a lot of us who are very devoted to the cause of the country, for a lot of us not waking up morning, evening, night and running agendas, who are making an detailed point of ensuring that space is given to all people of all spectrum to raise their points, to do it in a calm fashion, to talk about how to build the country. You've just come out of a conversation on how to promote farmers' income in this country. That there has to be a better way of doing things. What are we coming down to? Now this entire conceptualization has to be lived up to it. If you're talking about Bharat Jodo, if you're talking about going ahead, if you're talking about bringing people together, what's going on? That you're going to be taunted on the basis of your name, you're going to be asked what your caste is, and you're going to be beaten up? This is, honestly, I've been doing this for a very long time. I have never seen something like this happen before. Yes, things happen in a political rally, rough and tumble, there are cars, there are lots of people, there's a crowd, there's a charged up atmosphere. So yes, some pushing, shoving happens. It's very loud. It's a lot of times people are, camera person themselves are trying to get shots and there's movement going on and lots of people are coming and going. We've all done it. I've done it also. The question, of course, is that now when we are covering political rallies of senior leaders, are we expecting that while the coverage is going on, right in front of them, reporters are going to be assaulted and then you're going to tell your own people, mat maro. But what is the mindset that they're coming with? They're coming with the mindset that we are out here to beat up people. Is that what you're out for? Is that what this entire rally is supposed to be about? So one has to take great umbrage because I have never seen something like this before. It is totally appalling. It hurts all sorts of professional sensibilities that this is the standard that has been set, that tomorrow you and I and everybody I worked with across the hue, and that's hundreds of people over a couple of decades, that we have to first think that if we have to cover a certain political party's rallies of a certain political leader, we have to first check caste certificates of that person, and on that basis they will be whether beaten or not beaten at those rallies. It is beyond reprehensible. There has to be an assumption made that there are people in this country who are going out of their way with their professional instinct. And if anybody who's seen NewsX for the past several years, whether people who sit with us, there are people who come and join with us, there are people who come and disagree with the ruling establishment at the center on a ready basis. There are people who agree with them. There are people who have their own shades of opinion. Everyone is heard respectfully. Space is provided. This entire Nautanki drama that often happens on television, we don't do it. None of that is taking place. But what is then taking place in return? If we've never seen something like this and we don't call it out for what it is, retrospectively after having taunted someone, and you can say you're in the emotion of it, you are in the charged up atmosphere of making a speech, your gut instinct cannot be to taunt reporters and then watch your cadre beat them up, and after they are shoved and smacked around, then say mat maro. There's a line that is drawn. It's a line of decency. Decency is expected of journalists. Decency is expected of you. It's expected of me. There is a sense of sobriety. There's a sense of purpose. There's a sense of professionalism that is expected from all of us. And I can well take political parties, political leaders taking umbrage on certain kinds of journalistic behavior. For sure, take it up with those people who behave that and let their ride on their conscience. But what is the conscience today and what is the mindset today of the people who were walking in front of Rahul Gandhi's car and in front of his eyes while he's watching? This is not an incident that sort of also happened at the rally without his knowledge, without the knowledge of the senior leadership of the of the Congress party. This is happening as one of the tallest leaders is taunting journalists, and in front of him, his closest, I would assume supporters who are walking along with the car are pushing, shoving, slapping, beating, and then retrospectively is you saying mat maro. What was the point of the people and the mindset with which they've approached? Are they approaching it with a Gundagandi mindset? Are they approaching with a caste certificate mindset? Are they approaching it with an identity politics mindset? So the very purpose of the summation, and if I have to take it at face value, the very purpose of the summation is currently being defeated. And for a political rally involving somebody who is well established, for a party that knows how to conduct rallies, that has done it before, this is not the first time a Congress party is conducting a rally, for them to know that such an event has taken place within their own rally, that reporters have been assaulted. Now, it happens to be the person himself is an OBC who's just been beaten up. But what is the point that is being served here? Absolutely reprehensible, and I think we should all take umbrage to it.
Absolutely, Rishabh. Thank you for breaking that down for our viewers. Joyita also joins us on the broadcast. Joyita Basu, I'm sure you've also now had the chance to see what has happened at the rally in Rai Bareli. What message, Joyita, is this is now being sent out? Because here is our reporter who was just trying to do his job, and you have Rahul Gandhi who's asked a question which may or may not have instigated the crowd against our reporter who, like I said, was just trying to do his job at a rally. So if we cover the rally, it's a problem. We don't cover the rally, it's a problem. When we go there, this is how the reporter is treated.
Well, the fact of the matter is that prima facie, Rahul Gandhi instigated it. Okay? The thing is that, and I hope there will be action taken, just as somebody who instigates something like this. I mean, I hope somebody is lodging an FIR against the people who were involved in it. And I hope some kind of a probe happens about who was the exact person who instigated it. And the problem with Mr. Rahul Gandhi is that this behavior is pure hooliganism, irresponsible hooliganism. You see, you do not expect this kind of a behavior from a person whose aim is to become the Prime Minister of the country. Is this how, you know, a putative Prime Minister behaves? You see, this is a repeat of the kind of behavior we have seen. In fact, this is an aggravation of what we have been witnessing in Rahul Gandhi's press conferences, where he has been pointing out to sections of the media and calling them names. All right? The thing is, you see, you have a problem with a channel or a newspaper or a section of the media, the way they have covered it and all. You cannot take it out on anybody for that matter. That it's a question of the freedom of the press. Here you are talking about everybody is being muzzled and all, and then you go and, you know, start directing people's ire against a particular person. And it seems like, you know, you're doing that reporter a favor by saying, ab mat maro. You know, I mean, and what kind of people are you surrounded with that you allow this to happen? Why can't you possibly say the kind of the way he is standing, I'm watching it on TV right now, the way he is kind of talking to that reporter, the body language that is aggressive. That is aggressive, and it's almost like, you know, that the sadak chop person who kind of will do something like this, a petty goon. You know, that is frankly, I'm not even sorry for the language. That is how exactly he is coming across as. Frankly, I never thought this is a pure escalation of what he has been doing. And if that means violence, if that means people get hurt, I don't think he is bothered at all. You know, I mean, this is an expression of his frustration that nobody takes him seriously, and he is taking out that frustration on the media. It is not the media's fault that this gentleman has not been able to win an election in, I think, how long has he been in politics? 20 years now? I mean, the thing, we have seen the kind of behavior, uncouth behavior that this guy is capable of. We have seen how he has torn up, if you remember that Manmohan Singh ordinance, his own Prime Minister's ordinance, he tore up. You know, I mean, frankly, is this a place to be, you know, show your outbursts of temper? Who cares for that? And frankly, if you ask me, the media has allowed this to happen, because when he does this at these press conferences, so you see, media does not protest. Media does not get up and protest that, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, you have no business targeting reporters like this. You have no business targeting sections of the media like this. You see, and what happens in a press conference, it's a more civilized environment, so the reporters don't get attacked. But this is obviously, he is surrounded by the rabble. He is surrounded by gundas, hooligans. So, I mean, that is why...
But Jyota, you can literally see it on the screens. You can see there's a... who seems to be like one of the bodyguards, and other people in the rally have literally pushed the reporter, and very hard, simply because he was trying to put up his mic, and he's perhaps posed a question to Rahul Gandhi which he doesn't want to answer, and you suddenly begin this sort of a personal assault.
That is the whole point.
And like I said, we cover your rally, you do this. We don't cover it, then you call everybody Godi media and you say all channels are sellouts of the government. What's going on? Why should anybody then want to even come to your rally when you don't even want to answer a question?
Well, it is in keeping with what he has been propagating, and basically the kind of propaganda that he has been spreading against India abroad as well. and at home. You know that the media does not cover me. The media does not give me coverage. I am not allowed to win elections. Excuse me, for a change, why don't you hold up the mirror to your face and see whether you are capable or not? If this is your behavior, if this is the thing that is how you behave like, then how do you think, who will take you seriously? Okay? And who will vote for you if this is the kind of a leader that you come across as? Okay? And the thing is that you're absolutely right. The media, I mean, who hasn't covered his Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra? Who hasn't covered his Bharat Jodo Yatra? The thing is that, you see, it's a different issue that you are not being able to have an impact. Why are you taking out your frustration on somebody else? Why is it that it's always someone else's fault? And it is your failure, it is not your own fault.
Absolutely. Rishabh, coming back to you and, just understanding, you've, of course, explained it in great detail. But like I said, we are constantly, by a lot of members of the opposition, including Rahul Gandhi, there is an attempt to paint all media houses, to paint all journalists with a single brush. But the moment we do try to then give you space and platform to put across your yatra on air, this is the sort of behavior that you get.
Favor. Okay, you're a major political party in the country. You're conducting electoral politics during a major political season. Elections are due in the country, and they are a once-in-a-5-year event. Nobody's doing a special favor. The reporter is simply there doing his job. That's his job. There are the clip that you're seeing on your screen is, of course, well attended. Preceding that, he's covering what Rahul Gandhi is saying. The camera is listening to what Rahul Gandhi is saying. But the point is, what is the attitude with which we are engendering things? There is an attitude issue which is being portrayed here, where a seasoned political leader is instigating his own cadre by taunting a journalist. You don't want to answer the question, fair enough, you don't have to. You want to give whatever answer, fair enough. If there is a rough and tumble that happens in a rally because it's chaotic, that can happen. Accidents can take place. We've all done ground reporting. We understand how it works. But if you're pointedly looking at someone, okay, taunting them, all right, and taunting them on their names, on the castes, and then taking a signal from your taunts, your cadres are then assaulting the person, you are saying, recorded on camera, mat maro. So if you're saying mat maro, that means the person is being beaten up, no? Now what is supposed to happen? Now there is no sensible, erudite, well-meaning person, okay, who can come and say that this was something to be proud of. We have started beating up journalists in a Bharat Jodo Yatra professing love and unity on the basis of their caste. It is, like I said, for sensible people who want to put the nation's interests ahead, and the nation's interest is that electoral politics will come and go. The election cycle will end in a few months. It will shift to a different arena. This is going to come and go. And in the course of when push comes to shove, we get defined by who we are and who we represent. And if our entire doctrine of theology seems to be indicating that the message we want to send out is one of respect, of tolerance, of getting along together, of building bridges between communities, and when in our practice, we are beating up people or having people beaten up in front of our eyes, there's no disconnect. The reason this is so deeply upsetting is this is not an incident that has taken place somewhere on the sidelines of a rally, which maybe the senior leadership, in its proclivities and sensitivities, is unaware of. This is happening in front of your eyes. It is happening instigated by taunts made by you. It is happening on the basis of caste identity politics. And after having seen it in front of your eyes, after yourself having said, mat maro usko, what does mat maro means? Mat maro means that an assault is taking place, and post facto, potentially after having instigated the assault, you are saying mat maro. You're trying to stop the assault. Too little, too late. It's your people doing it, perhaps emboldened, perhaps inspired, we don't know. What is the action you're taking? So the question is, what are you telling the cadres? Are you doing shabash? Good. Beat up people on the basis of their caste. Demand caste certificates from reporters when they come to ask you questions. Is that what you're trying to indicate here? Because that's the unfortunate indication that we are taking away from this. I have never seen this happen before. This is the first time, rare, unique occurrence, that a very senior political leader, an erudite leader coming from the echelons of power in this country, is instigating an attack on journalism, on a journalist, on the basis of a caste identity, being totally unaware that what his poster behind him in the rally said about OBCs, the man himself is an OBC. And what is the response? There is none. Now, you cannot claim ignorance that, all right, sorry, we weren't aware. These were a bunch of ruffians misbehaving. We regret it. There is no response. It's happening in front of your eyes. Your entire senior leadership knows. And what is the imagery of Rahul Gandhi that we've just seen? It's for him to decide what is the image he's sending out to the country. So all the things that you claim to stand for, you have to practice what you preach. You don't have to be in agreement with anybody. You certainly don't even have to be in agreement with the media, with news channels, with editors. You don't have to be in agreement with them. But you have to have a certain level of decorum, and we expect a certain level of decorum. I expect a certain level of decorum from myself. I expect a certain level of decorum from you. I expect a certain level of decorum from our reporters. If our reporter had been egregiously misbehaving, then it was something that a disciplinary matter, a very serious disciplinary matter. You don't expect the news reporters to be out there and saying, what is your caste, what is your father's name, what is your grandfather's name, are you upper caste, lower caste, and on that basis we'll get you beaten up. And then after you're getting beaten up, you'll say, no, let's not beat you up. I don't expect that to be happening. That's criminal. There are, of course, it's leaving some very troubled.
Yes.
Of exactly what should not be happening, and it's happened in such a way, and now a couple of hours has elapsed. One would have expected immediate regrets. That hasn't come our way. It hasn't come the way of the reporter. One is in total shock because I have never seen this happen, that a senior political leader's rally, one of our reporters is being assaulted under his very eyes. It's unbelievable. It is more than egregious.
Absolutely. Rishabh, Professor Nalapad also with us on the broadcast. Professor Nalapad, as Rishabh also pointed out, very troubling, and it overall just leaves such a bitter taste with what has happened. And you've been in this profession for many decades now, sir. When was the last time you as a reporter went for any sort of coverage anywhere and were asked your name and your caste by the leader?
Well, this is absolutely a first. I have never really experienced that kind of a situation at first. There have been cases in which individuals turned very angry, but not with me, but with others there, and that happened. But what I'd like to say is that Rahul Gandhi is just a member of parliament. Actually, he's a member of parliament courtesy of a judicial verdict that nothing should be done to him. Well, another judicial verdict has said that he is guilty for 2 years imprisonment and therefore has forfeited his seat. So one judicial verdict has overturned the other. Now, what is he doing, frankly, on this? Of course, Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, wonderful. If that kind of a spectacle can create Nyay and can create unity, that's wonderful. But the point is, Rahul Gandhi is the child of privilege. He has been born into privilege. I do not think that he is below the poverty line, nor is anybody in his family below the poverty line. He has a sense of entitlement. And I think he feels upset that somehow, he's being denied the power that is there by familial right. As for being, so OBCs, I would like to say, I hate to point this out, but I think one of the top three individuals in the government of India, and I'd like to say the President, Vice President, the Prime Minister, I'm not going to say who, is from the backward caste himself. So what are we talking about? Protecting of the OBC when you have a Prime Minister who is frankly doing precisely that because they understand the situation. Look, I'd like to say that I'm disgusted, I'm disappointed. I think, everybody else would be disappointed. I did not expect this kind of behavior from Rahul Gandhi, especially after this tremendous show of love and hugging and that kind of thing. It's very, very unpleasant. And let me tell you one thing. The principle is very clear. A wrongful attack on a journalist anywhere is an attack on journalists everywhere. Everywhere. And Rahul Gandhi has attacked the entire profession. He has not just attacked an individual to whom, frankly, I would just like to say that my sympathies go out to this innocent individual. He was doing his job, and he has suffered for doing his job, and that too from an individual who is, frankly, the de facto leader of the second largest party in the country. It is absolutely impermissible. This is an attack not on a journalist, but on journalists. This is an attack on journalism. This is an attack on the media. And what is most interesting, this attack is coming from someone who daily makes attacks about press freedom, about democracy, about human rights. Please, where was the democracy, freedom and human rights in this instigation of individuals against a journalist who is simply reporting the fact as he sees it? Now, you may have some people who report a different view of the facts. That is fine. Let the reader decide. Nobody is forcing a reader to read a particular newspaper or to watch a particular channel. That's as democratic as our elections. So I'm really sorry to say I am disgusted, I am disappointed, and I do hope that Mallikarjun Kharge will show that he is not just the nominal president of the Congress party, but he will pull up Rahul Gandhi for this kind of behavior. I have followed the career of Kharge for a long time. I have immense regard for him, frankly, but I must say that this is the moment of truth for Mallikarjun Kharge. If he does not respond to this, then I am not sure that he has any moral right to talk anymore. Of course, neither does the individual who considers himself to be his boss any moral right to talk about rights, democracy, freedom, and other such platitudes. So for them, it's apparently only a platitude. I ask the President of the AICC, Mallikarjun Kharge, to stand up for freedom of the press, stand up for democracy, stand up for human rights, and bring to book this errant member of his party who is just a member of parliament. That's all.
Right, absolutely. Professor Nalapa, thank you for joining us. Sumit Peer also with us on the broadcast. Sumit, I'm sure you've also now, by this point, had an opportunity to actually see what went down at this rally in Rai Bareli. One can, and it's possible that this argument will come out that there were so many people he couldn't manage or that he couldn't control the crowd, but that's not true. When you actually look at the video, there is a reporter who's trying to do his job, and then you have Rahul Gandhi asking him his name, asking him his caste, then asking him what channel do you work for, who's the owner of your channel, completely deflecting and not allowing a journalist to simply do his job, for which you try to bash the media day in and day out, saying that everybody is a sellout, nobody gives us a fair opportunity, nobody wants to hear us, they'll only cover the Prime Minister's rallies but not ours. And when a journalist reaches there, you're more than instigating your supporters.
What has happened will go down in history today, because this will be a benchmark of how rude, arrogant, and how inhuman you can get. Because your name might be Rahul Gandhi, or you might be coming from a very tall family or a party or a dynasty, But a normal Indian doing his job, doing his duties as a journalist, in no manner whatsoever can be beaten up, can be asked his name, can be asked his caste, and what the business he has to do ki teri channel ka malik kaun hai. How does Mr. Kartikeya Sharma's name make a difference? That is where it talks about political vendetta. That is where it talks about the politics of it. Because there is nothing in the name, there is nothing in the caste, there is nothing in the channel kisse aaya aur tera malik kaun hai. Because this guy is just doing his job. Because if you are asking him these 4 questions, that talks about the political element in it, wherein your intentions were not good with him. Because you were asking and behaving like this, then your people thought कि भाई 2-4 लगा देते हैं. When he got beaten up, फिर कह रहे हो भाई मत मारो मत मारो मत मारो. अब क्या मार डालोगे क्या? They're already beaten up. What mat maro means you don't want to kill him, na? So you have done a ahsan. Recently I was seeing a video of the so-called Kisan protest. One of the Kisan was saying, "Oh, I went there and the reporter only got beaten up. Otherwise, they would have chopped him with their swords." So were we waiting for this person to get killed? Were we waiting for a dead body? Then we would have known something has happened. If this is how the media will be handled, if it's how the reporters will be handled, this is the most unfortunate incident what I have seen in the last so many years. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi, if it is your rally, you have to control your people. The onus lies on you. It is your rally. It is your business. It is your party. It is your Nyaya Yatra. And what about so-called Nyaya Yatra? Has this person, this poor chap, got the Nyaya? How does it matter if he's a Brahman, he's a Kshatriya, he's a Dalit, or he's a Caste? How will it matter? How does it matter what is his name? He's a Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai. Will that really matter? How does it matter which channel he works for? And how does he matter who is the owner? Because these things itself talk about you were trying to provoke the situation. You were trying to instigate your supporters, and then you were saying, mat maro, because you already beaten him up. What do you want more to do? So this is really, I would say there's a death knell in the media today, because if this starts happening to the journalists doing their job, if they start if they get beaten up in political rallies, then Devikaji, there will be no journalist on the ground. Will have to only depend on what are the videos which come in social media and pay it on that. And what is this Godi media about? What is this Godi media business about? You have created this term, you have created this jumla of Godi media, and this is how you assault people. How does it matter he's from X, Y, or Z channel? He asked you a question, you answer, or you can simply say, I don't want to answer you. How does the channel impact the question, and how does the impact the channel, and how does the owner impact the whole situation? Is this what Nyaya Yatra is about? Is this how you are going to give Nyaya to the common man? Is this what a reporter gets in your Nyaya Yatra? These are the questions which Congress has to answer. I think they have lost the plot. They have lost. They are completely baffled. I saw one video of Mr. Rahul Gandhi where he was saying, "Yaar, kya tum Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram karte ho? Tum pagal ho gaye," and all that. He was addressing people like that. Now our poor friend getting beaten up. So I think this Modi ji's Alan of 400 par has really, made them go crazy. They have lost the sense of balance and proportion, and now they are getting physical. Politics was about talking, politics was about argument, politics was about putting your point of view. But now what we are seeing is this mobocracy. We are seeing this gundagardi. We are seeing people getting physical and people getting beaten up in rallies. This is very unfortunate.
On what basis then is Rahul Gandhi talking about freedom of press? He always goes abroad and that's the first thing he raises, that the press is muzzled in India. There is no freedom of speech and expression. There is no freedom of press. And this is what you're doing to a reporter simply because you want to paint the entire media, as I said, with the same brush. You want to portray that all of media in India are sellouts and they're all just trying to propagate some agenda of the government.
What? You see, Devikaji, what is the agenda? You're asking a question. You can even say no comments. You can reply by saying no comments. But where and how does beating up a poor chap, asking him his name, his caste, and the owner in the channel and the owner of the channel, how does that justify us asking this question? What is media freedom? Or is media freedom that you should have the liberty and the freedom to beat up a journalist and the journalist should not ask a question? Is media freedom about that? When I ask you a question, I don't like your question, I say, my people, I beat though. And I say, okay, bas aaj ka itna ho gaya. Is this media freedom about? In which country, wherever these countries he goes and talks about the media freedom, in which of those countries does this happen? This is utter gundagardi, this is utter violence, this is utter manhandling of the situation. I think you guys should get an FIR registered because this is what it deserves. Because if this is going to happen to the people on the ground, it is very, very difficult. And this is how and these are the people who talk about the press freedom index. These are the people who talk about the hunger index. These are the people who talk about constitution khatre mein, black day, democracy khatre mein. Now, media is the fourth pillar of the democracy. And this man represents the media of the India. And this is how this media is being handled. He can be with any party. He can have any personal affiliation. He might even vote for Rahul Gandhi, or he might not vote for Rahul Gandhi.
Right,
But
absolutely.
under what condition does he deserve to be beaten up, ma'am? This is the bigger question. Kyun beat rahe ho, bhai?
Yes, Sumit, absolutely right. Dinesh Pratap Singh, Minister from Uttar Pradesh, also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Singh, something very unfortunate has happened in Raebareli, where we've seen at a rally our reporter being assaulted by supporters of Rahul Gandhi right in front of Rahul Gandhi's eyes after Mr. Gandhi asked him his name, asked him his caste and asked him some other questions about the channel where he's working.
हम सब रायबरेली वासी, देशवासी दुखी हैं कि एक इस स्तर का नेता ऐसे अपनी वाणी से, आचरण से, व्यवहार से देशवासियों को लज्जित करेगा, जहां पीछे बोर्ड लगा हुआ है कि पिछड़ों का सम्मान दिया जाए, जाति जनगणना कराई जाए, और उसी बोर्ड लगा करके उसी सामने पिछड़ों को पीटा जा रहा है। शिव प्रसाद यादव जी को केवल इसलिए पीटा गया कि अखिलेश यादव जी रायबरेली में शामिल नहीं हुए, तो अपनी असफलता के कारण इस तरह का काम किया जाए। और फिर मैंने ये भी देखा, देशवासियों ने इस बात को देखा कि हो सकता है शिव प्रसाद जी की कोई चूक हो, लेकिन पूरा मीडिया जगत, जितने लोग थे, सबको गोदी मीडिया, गोदी मीडिया, गोदी मीडिया कह के सबको अपमानित किया गया, सबके ऊपर आरोप लगाए गए कि ये गोदी मीडिया है। कोई एक व्यक्ति, एक वर्ग में कोई गलत हो सकता है, पूरा का मीडिया जगत सारा गोदी मीडिया हो गया, राहुल गांधी का विरोधी। अगर ऐसा संदेश राहुल जी ने दिया तो मैं समझता हूं राहुल जी इतने अयोग्य प्रतिनिधि हैं कि वो ये नहीं समझ सकते कि कौन अच्छा है कौन खराब। अब अगर देश की जनता ने उनका साथ पूरा का पूरा छोड़ दिया तो पूरी जनता को आप दोष दोगे कि ये सारी जनता सब गोदी जनता हो गई है, तो मैं नहीं समझता कि अच्छे आचरण से दिल जीता जा सकता है। और आज का युग मोदी युग है, जहां प्रतिस्पर्धा के युग में जो अच्छी सेवा करेगा वो आगे जाएगा। एक चाय वाला प्रधानमंत्री बन सकता है, जंगल में एक लकड़ी बीन करके देश की सबसे बड़ी संवैधानिक पद पर राष्ट्रपति हो सकते हैं। अब चांदी के चम्मच से खाने वाला रसूख और ग्लैमर के बल पे सांसद नहीं बन सकता राहुल जी। इससे फ्रस्ट्रेशन में आप किसी करेस्पॉन्डेंट का अपमान नहीं करना चाहिए। मैं इसकी घोर निंदा करता हूं।
Yes, all right. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast, sir. Let me quickly go across my colleague Shiv Prasad also with us and Arvind Chaturvedi with us. But Shiv, पहले मैं आपके पास आना चाहूंगी। आप थे वो रिपोर्टर रैली में जिन पर यह असॉल्ट किया गया, थोड़ा हमारे दर्शकों को बताइए शिव, ऐसा क्या हुआ रैली में?
जैसे कि पहले से कांग्रेस के जो रणनीतिकार हैं उन्होंने तय रखा था कि रायबरेली में जब रैली सुपरमार्केट में आएगी तो राहुल गांधी की स्पीच होगी, उसके बाद वो मीडिया से बात करेंगे। राहुल गांधी स्पीच दे रहे हैं, मैं भी खबर कर रहा हूं, और उसी दौरान जो राहुल गांधी के साथ चल रहे थे लोग, जो बैरिकेडिंग है एक बनाई गई है रस्सी से, उसके बाहर मुझे पता है कि किस दायरे में मुझे कवर करना है। तो इस बीच जो अपना माइक है, हमारा माइक है NewsX का, इंडिया न्यूज का, देख करके वो भड़क गए। और इस बीच मैं बराबर ये करता रहा कि एक जो सवाल है कि जिस जीप में आप बैठे हैं उस जीप में रायबरेली की जनता देखना चाहती थी कि प्रियंका गांधी जीप में अगर होती, क्यों नहीं है, इंडिया यानी इंडी गठबंधन के क्यों नहीं है, और जो लोगों को शामिल होना था बड़े नेता वे कहाँ हैं, रायबरेली की जनता देखना चाहती थी। आपकी जो कांग्रेस का आप बड़े बड़े दावे करते थे वो देखना चाहती थी। लेकिन सवाल इधर निकल रहे थे, उधर किस प्रकार से राहुल गांधी का इशारा पाते हुए उनके जो चल रहे थे, मुझे तो यकीन नहीं हो रहा था कि लोग कहां से आ गए। ये न्याय यात्रा लेकर के अन्याय एक रिपोर्टर पर कर रहे हैं, एक सम्मानित चैनल पर कर रहे हैं, मीडिया जगत पर कर रहे हैं, और गोदी मीडिया। ये एक सवाल मेरा ये भी बनता था इनसे, सवाल होता अगर बात होती कि आप जिस गोदी मीडिया को कर रहे हैं होगा आपको न दिखा रहे हों, लेकिन मैं लगातार, हमारा सम्मानित चैनल लगातार आपकी यात्रा चाहे फर्स्ट हो या सेकेंड हो, जब यूपी में आप प्रवेश किए सब दिखाया। एक हफ्ते से लगातार रायबरेली से खबर मैं कर रहा हूं, हमारा सम्मानित चैनल आपको दिखा रहा है। अभी आपके आने के पहले कुछ सवाल ये थे कि आपके पीसीसी सदस्य रायबरेली के कुछ आपके अच्छे वर्कर थे, पार्टी पदाधिकारी, वो लगातार कल से आज तक आपसे इस्तीफा देते जा रहे हैं। तमाम सवाल बनते, लेकिन वो सवाल ना पूछे जाए राहुल गांधी से, और राहुल गांधी अपने जो उनके साथ चल रहे हैं, उनको गुंडा ही कहा जाए, इस तरह का बर्ताव करेंगे एक रिपोर्टर के साथ। मैं 20 सालों से करता रहा हूं। वो अपने मां के साथ जब रायबरेली आए थे 2004 में, और कबर करता रहा। जब ये सांसद अमेठी में बने, उन पूरी कबर किया, और सारे कांग्रेसी जानते हैं। इनके जो सांसद सोनिया गांधी के प्रतिनिधि केएल शर्मा, कल तक बात हुई, मेरी आज बात हुई कि प्रियंका का क्या कार्यक्रम है, उन्होंने कहा मुझे पता नहीं है, बीमार है। हाँ, पहले बात आई थी।
Shiv, we hope that you're okay after whatever has happened at the rally. Of course, हम ये आशा करते हैं कि आप ठीक हैं, क्योंकि हमने भी वीडियो में देखा कि काफ़ी लोग और काफ़ी अग्रेसिवली आपकी तरफ आए जो रैली में थे।
हाँ, यही तो मुझे यकीन नहीं हो रहा था। नहीं, इस तरह का बर्ताव किसी रिपोर्टर को या किसी व्यक्ति को लग जाए तो वो भीड़ में और पार्टी में नहीं जाएगा, चाहे जितना बड़ा नेता हो। मुझे पहली बार इस पत्रकारिता में लगा कि राहुल गांधी के सामने और एक सम्मानित चैनल के रिपोर्टर, और जिस प्रकार से मेरा नाम पूछ रहे हैं, मेरे मालिक के बारे में, उनको नहीं पता इंडिया न्यूज कितना बड़ा नेटवर्क है, कितने सालों से काम कर रहा है, सारी चीजें उनको पता है। लेकिन एक तरह से जिस प्रकार से उनका एक कहते हैं कि एक जो अंदर से घृणा वो करते हैं अब मीडिया के लिए, पत्रकारों के लिए, मुझे कम से कम ये पता कर लेते कि ये पत्रकार हो सकता है कि वोटर तो नहीं है कहीं रायबरेली का तो रहने वाला नहीं है, हो सकता है कि कभी इसने मदद की हो, लेकिन सारे बातों को वो किनारे करके अपने जो गुंडे ले आए, गुंडे ही कहा जाए इनको, जो साथ में थे, क्योंकि सुरक्षा कर्मी, उनसे कोई वो नहीं था, वो बेचारे खड़े थे, आके टूट पड़ना, कवरेज न करना, सवालों का जवाब न देना। तो कांग्रेस कहां चली गई, जिस कांग्रेस की बात राहुल गांधी, सोनिया गांधी और बड़े बड़े नेता करते थे? तो सवाल है इनके ऊपर है।
जी शिव, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस ऑन द ब्रॉडकास्ट, हमारे दर्शकों को बताने के लिए कि एग्जैक्टली हुआ क्या था उस रैली पे। अरविंद भी हमारे साथ हैं। अरविंद, एब्सोल्युटली ऑफुल, शॉकिंग visuals there that have come in of this assault that has taken place at the rally, and from what we're learning that there's been absolutely no reaction or response from the Congress at all to what has happened.
मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं कि जिस तरह की घटना हुई है वो बहुत ही दुखद है। हम लोगों ने चाहे चंदौली से जब इनकी यात्रा की शुरुआत हुई थी उसको भी बहुत बेहतर तरीके से कवर किया था, बनारस में जब इनकी यात्रा आई उसको भी कवर किया, और इस समय लखनऊ में इनकी जो यात्रा चल रही है उसको भी हम कवर कर रहे हैं। दुर्भाग्य ये है कि यहाँ पर जिस तरीके से राहुल गांधी का सवाल था, जिस तरीके से उन्होंने रिपोर्टर की जाति के बारे में सवाल किया, जिस तरीके से हमारे चैनल के जो ऑनर हैं उनके बारे में सवाल किया, बड़े दुर्भाग्य की बात है। लेकिन यहाँ पर मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी को अगर इस बात की जानकारी नहीं है कि आखिर इंडिया न्यूज जो कि वर्षों से चल रहा है, जिसको दुनिया देख रही है, NewsX जो कि वर्षों से चल रहा है, जिसको पूरी दुनिया देख रही है, तो मैं बहुत दुर्भाग्य समझता हूं। जिस तरीके से उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस की हालत है, समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ उनका गठबंधन पूरी तरीके से टूट गया है। दूसरी जो बड़ी खबर है वो मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी का उत्तर प्रदेश में किसी के साथ अभी तक कोई भी गठबंधन फाइनल नहीं हुआ है। स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जो अपना चुनाव खुद हार चुके हैं वो राहुल गांधी के साथ यात्रा में नजर आते हैं। पल्लवी पटेल जो कि दूसरे पे आश्रित है, समाजवादी पार्टी के बलबूते वो चुनाव जीत के गई है, वो दूसरे पे आश्रित है, वो राहुल गांधी के साथ नजर आती हैं। सवाल यह है कि जमीन पूरी तरीके से कांग्रेस जो है वो उत्तर प्रदेश में खो चुकी है, और राहुल गांधी उस जमीन की तलाश में उस जमीन को बचाने के लिए निकले हैं। ऐसे में राहुल गांधी की जमीन तो बचती हुई नजर नहीं आ रही है, लेकिन इस सवाल ने उनके ऊपर सवाल जरूर खड़ा कर दिया है, उनके बुद्धि पे सवाल जरूर खड़ा कर दिया है। और आप देखें कि हमारे रिपोर्टर की जाबाजी को मैं सलाम करता हूं कि इतनी भीड़ में जब सारे तरफ से लोग उसको धक्का दे रहे थे, उसका चश्मा टूट गया, भीड़ उसके साथ कोई भी बर्ताव कर सकती थी, लेकिन उसने हिम्मत दिखाई, और जिस तरीके से उसने हमारे चैनल के इकबाल को बुलंद किया है, निश्चित रूप से वो काबिल तारीफ है। लेकिन हमारे सवाल जो है वो राहुल गांधी से हर जगह जारी रहेंगे। हम उनसे पूछेंगे कि आखिर अखिलेश यादव के साथ आपकी बात क्यों नहीं बनी, आखिर आपके साथ किसी भी दल ने यहाँ पर गठबंधन क्यों नहीं किया, ये सवाल हमारी तरफ से पूछे जाएंगे राहुल गांधी जी। और मैं समझता हूं कि कांग्रेस को इसको लेके माफी मांगनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जिस तरह का व्यवहार उन्होंने किया है ये बेहद दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, और ये एक चेतावनी है कि किस तरफ जो है कांग्रेस बढ़ रही है, और ये फ्रस्ट्रेशन का जो लेवल है वो एक्सट्रीम है। और मेरा ये मानना है कि अगर इसी तरीके से राहुल गांधी अपना व्यवहार दिखाते रहे तो शायद कांग्रेस उत्तर प्रदेश में शून्य हो जाएगी, क्योंकि अखिलेश यादव ने अगर समर्थन नहीं दिया तो ये अमेठी और रायबरेली भी हार जाएंगे। इसको मुझे कहने में जरा सा भी गुरेज नहीं।
Absolutely. I thank Arvind also for joining us on the broadcast. Like I said, viewers, very, very troubling visuals have come in from Raebareli. And usually when you're reporting on an incident that has taken place with someone else, you perhaps don't realize the gravity of the situation. But this has really been very close to home for us, because it was our reporter that was assaulted. It could be someone else's reporter that will be assaulted at a rally tomorrow, and the leader will just continue watching on. So if Rahul Gandhi wants to talk about press freedom abroad, he perhaps needs to train his supporters, people who come for his rallies, on what press freedom truly means. If you can't take a question, you have to learn to deny it rather than instigating your reporters. On that note, a very short break.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.